Hey, what's up? This is Elias from the band Nonpoint, and you're listening to the Network317 podcast.
We are sitting here with none other than
Elias.
Tell us a lot about your career. I mean, you guys have played numerous tours, numerous shows, European shows for many, many years. For our viewers that's not too keen to you guys yet, why don't you fill them in?
We're a band started in South Florida. We're basically just a metal band with what we try to put forward, a positive message that helps people through difficult times. And we've toured basically, I think 49 of our 50, and just at about 20 countries. So we've been doing it a long time.
What is about 15 plus years?
20 years.
You guys just released a video. Remember Me? Well,
Remember Me was something that we did to, as best we could, humbly thank the people that are, on the front lines of the pandemic and, everything else that's basically going on in the world with, the protests and the illnesses and, basically trying to keep everything together. There's a lot of people, trying to keep us fed and trying to keep us healthy and, trying to keep the lights on and everything. And, the term essential has really defined itself in 2020. So we wanted to pay homage, give thanks to, these people that don't really get a thank you.
Right.
Yeah, don't really, you very rarely get to meet them one-on-one and know their name and get to know them, but yet you lean on them at really difficult times like this.
Who came up with the concept? Because I really loved the way it was a really grassroots look. It had a lot of pictures of frontliners, nurses, doctors, essential workers. Who came up with that whole concept of just having the people stand there with the signs?
The concept was from our creative director, a young lady from Canada named Francesca Ludicar. It was, she had the concept idea of, she knows how engaged we are with our fan base and how diehard they are. And, they usually come to bat whenever we need them to. So, having that ability to connect with your fans in such a one-on-one kind of way allows those kind of ideas and those kind of concepts to come about. It's not every day that a band is willing to give their entire video to a group of people that aren't even in the band. But we felt like that was the only way to release this video, is to only have them and for us to say thank you for what they're doing.
No, I thought it was a great video, man. When I got it, I opened my email and I was like, wow. I watched it several times and, I was like, we need to talk. Like, I really, really dug the message in it. Great video, good message. I loved it.
I appreciate it. Yeah, when we went back in to do this one, originally we were just gonna cover it acoustic as it stood, and the verses really, I felt like, could use a little upgrade and aim it a little bit more at the people that are dealing with this every single day and literally putting their lives in danger for people that they barely know.
Yeah. My younger sister, actually, she caught it. She didn't get really sick, but she works in a nursing home, and one of her patients, she called me and I was like, hey, you need to be careful. This is when it first started breaking out, and she was like, well, I've got sinuses, so I'm fine. I was like, well, that's a little bit of a sign, so you might be careful. And sure enough, a week later, she called me over FaceTime, and she's like, you're never going to believe it, I got it.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, she didn't get and thank God she didn't get deathly sick from it, which is great. But it's been a really tough time and a weird time for a lot of people, man. You know,
Yeah, it's, I mean, you gotta trust the science, and
sure,
you have to look at the examples that other countries are setting around the world. I mean, I said this in the last interview. If you look at Japan, they've had less than 100 deaths. There's a reason why. They
sure,
all lock down, they all wear masks, they all social distance as soon as it happened. They've been through this kind of thing before, and it's unfortunately in this country it's been put more in politics than on science, and
right,
because of that, people have believed the wrong people, and now we're in a situation where it's out of control,
sure
and
it
the only
is,
way through it is now to possibly lock down again, get everybody on board on masks again. Look at Vietnam bordering China, 750 deaths. There's a reason why.
sure,
They all wore masks, they all social distance.
sure.
Japan never had to lock down.
Wow, man,
Japan has less than 2% unemployment.
wow, that's
See,
crazy.
people need to really look into the facts. Your
Yeah,
president is lying to you. Listen to your scientists. I mean, governors, state governors are having to literally take over look at Governor Cuomo. He's
hmm,
having to close his borders to the rest of the states and quarantine people for at least 14 days when they come into New York to keep his citizens safe,
yeah,
because he did the right thing.
sure,
Their curve is down. Why is the rest of the country's curve going up? Because they didn't follow the lead of a smart man who was following the directions of science.
yeah.
And
That's me, man. I listen to the doctors. Like, I don't really get into too much of the politics because it's always back and forth. But I listen to the doctors. I,
there's a reason
I
that
believe they're going to tell you the truth because they're the doctors. They took an oath to take care of you and tell you the right things and to make you better. And when they start talking, they're like, "Hey, you might need to wear a mask or you might need to lock
they've
down."
worn masks for 40 years.
Yes,
They've
you're
worn
right.
masks for 40, 50 years in the
You're
medical
right.
industry. They've always worn masks, half those people. So, and they wear them, surgeons wear masks for 10 hours of surgery.
You're right.
It happens. Just deal with a little uncomfortableness for the hour that you got to go into Walmart, and you'll be fine. You
Sure.
protect the people around you, and you keep this thing from
Sure.
spreading a little bit down in control.
On that level, since the whole pandemic, all tours have been shut down,
Mhm.
all engagements have been shut down, in-person interviews have been shut down. How's Nonpoint as the band been dealing with this whole pandemic?
We're just trying to keep our fans entertained. We're doing the campaigns. We started with the Alive and Kicking thing, and now we moved to Front Lines. From here on Friday, we're starting another campaign uh, that's really going to get everyone involved. Um,
Nice.
we have some online shows coming up that we're going to be announcing soon, so we're staying busy,
Cool.
hustling,
Cool.
man. You
Cool.
gotta keep going.
Um, what got you started into music?
Yeah, I think it was the social environment that was going on in South Florida. There was a lot of local rock bands that were, um, having shows and bringing in people. I became friends with somebody that was part of one of those bands that eventually became Nonpoint, um, and I was interested in just hanging out and having fun with friends.
Nice.
And they asked me to pick up a microphone, and here we are.
Right. Yeah, you guys are a hell of a band, man.
Thank you.
How can your fans uh, get connected with you guys on these campaigns?
Comment and really follow us on all of our socials. Uh, if you like and comment, you hit the algorithm right, and we end up in your news feed as much as possible. So I would say go to all of our pages. Go to Nonpoint Official on Facebook. Go to Nonpoint Band on Instagram. And then you can all follow us on all our individuals. Mine is the Elias Soriano on Instagram and on TikTok. And then just Elias Soriano on Facebook.
Any new music from Nonpoint since you guys are hunkering down a little bit?
Yeah, we've been tossing around some stuff, and we actually before everything happened brought our man Fred Archambault in because we were playing with some ideas, but we were taking a break, man. We were going to be on hiatus for a while. The pandemic is what brought us out. We're not sure if we're going to put together a full record right now. We may throw out a song. I'm not exactly sure.
Maybe
But
digital release.
just like with the pandemic, it's a day by day thing.
I think that's a smart move, because we've done quite a few interviews, during this pandemic, and a lot of bands have released, CDs, and boom, it gets shut down. No one's going to buy anything, and no tours, no CD sales, no music sales.
Yeah.
I think it would be a smart move to just, like you said, hold back and just kind of gradually see what's going to happen. And, just, to make the better moves on how you release your music and how you go about doing this.
The thing with it is at the end of the day, I still need my team.
Yeah.
And if we're all unable to be in close contact, if we're unable to take photos or do videos and stuff like that, the music really doesn't present as well as we'd like it to. And that's probably part of the reasons that some of these other releases didn't, do as well as people probably hoped. And like you said, it's a really, really rough time right now. To ask anyone to invest in anything, it was hard enough for us to put masks up. But seeing people ask us to put them up, I mean, I see why we've sold out now with 2 different runs in less than 24 hours, just because,
Nice.
people, they're essential, and people want to support bands that they want to keep around. So I just thank our 361 family, the Nonpoint Nation, all of our fans are always, like I said, they definitely come to bat for us when we call them to action.
I've got a few songs I want to talk about. What we do is I have some of our viewers send us questions, or songs in this case.
Mm-hmm.
The first song, we jump all over the place, The Truth. Tell us what that's about.
It was funny because The Truth was during a very political time as well. I've seen quite a few. I've seen a few presidents, and I've seen the good ones and the bad ones.
Oh yeah.
So, if anyone has been following us for the last 20 years, we're all about the current events, and talking about what's in front of us. It always seems to connect with our fan base. So The Truth was really about uncovering a lot of conspiracy and a lot of things that were really not coming to light that we felt like should have. And then when they did come to light, the truth was more.
Sure. Right. Let's see, what's the next one? What a Day. That's a little bit of an old.
What a Day was
a good one.
Yeah, What a Day was a college situation. It was a friend of mine who was actually a male cheerleader. He was absolutely hammered off campus, and he got in a cab, or he got a ride. He asked somebody for a ride, and he passed out in their car, and they couldn't wake him up to give him directions.
Wow. You're all right, man. You're all right.
To give him directions. So the guy was like, well, I can't do anything with you. So he literally pulled up to a park and put my friend on a park bench.
Wow.
And he woke up the next morning like, what the hell am I doing here? And that story.
What a day.
Yeah, that story came to mind when that song was that first riff. It was that bow, bow, wow. It was just a kind of like creepy beginning. That.
Wow, that's cool. Bullet with a Name.
Bullet with a Name was during our label transition, when labels, the Big 12 became the 6, became the Big 3. When you're given the goal of doing well in music on radio and stuff, you put a lot of your life and a lot of your feelings into things like music when you're writing music.
Sure.
So when you give it to someone else to present, and you feel like either it's not presented well, or it's not, taken care of, or it wasn't given the right amount of attention, every band feels that way with every record, obviously. But more so for that one, we that was our independent release. So we were really left to our own devices, basically, and our managers. We did it ourselves. So we had a bit of a target on our backs, and we put a bit of a target on the industry with that one, and said that we're gonna write our most influential record, and we did exactly
It
that.
was a hell of a record too, man. That was a hell of a record.
Thank you.
Hell of a record. Tell you a quick story. The bullet with the name. My daughter, before she graduated high school, she got in this class for special needs kids. She wanted to help out. And this one boy, he came over. He's in our neighborhood. He's like, "Do you mind if I take your daughter to the prom?" I was like, "Well, come here. I want you to listen to a song real quick." And I put. I'm always messing with all these kids around here, but I started playing. He kind of looked at me. I'm like, "I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing." He said, "Got a bullet with the name on it," and he kind of looked at me. I was like, "Just listen to that song." Yeah. But okay, I got a couple more, man. Gonna be a war.
It's gonna be a war. That was, I believe, that was oh wow, I'm trying to remember what that one was about. That was during Vengeance, which was probably the fastest record we put together. That record was a bit of a blur, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
But if I recall correctly, There's Gonna Be a War had to do with an internal legal battle that we were dealing with at the time.
Right on.
A little bit of that.
Yeah, like I said, I got a lot of these titles in. I'm like, wow, we're jumping all over the place on these. Chaos and Earthquakes.
Chaos and Earthquakes was a bit of the answer to Generation Idiot. It was the product of what I saw coming.
Sure.
When the last election, when everything just seemed like it was going off the rails.
Sure.
I didn't understand why opinions were going in the direction that they were going. So, and I could see people as I was walking down the street, and I was looking around because I tend to look up a lot. It's weird. I'm always looking for UFOs and shit. But I happened to look down, and it was strange because it was in New York. And when I looked across the sea of people, I saw like 2 people looking up. Every other person was buried in their fucking phone.
Wow.
And I saw, and then the lyrics of Generation Idiot kind of started to develop. Chaos and Earthquakes was the I Told You So.
That's cool. I liked it, man. I dug the song too, but I really like, hearing the meanings behind these songs, because of course a lot of artists, they want you to get your own meaning behind them when you listen to them. But once you hear, what the songs are about, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Here's the cover of In the Air Tonight.
The cover of In the Air Tonight happened because we had a little bit of time left over in our recording process for Recoil. At the time, we were signed to Lava Atlantic. The guy who signed us, Andy Karp, reached out to the head of the label, this gentleman named Jason Flom, and we had banged out the record so fast that we had time left over. So Jason Flom suggested that we try a cover because he had heard us play with covers prior. We had done Evil Ways by Santana, and we had played on our first record with Tribute, so he knew that we were game for reinventing cover songs. As we were there, our drum tech at the time was also helping us with the recording and came to help tune and so on and so forth. And he mentioned, he was like, man, y'all should try In the Air Tonight. Y'all are from Miami. I mean, basically. And I was like, man, I fucking love that song. Yeah,
Right.
I would totally do that song. You know, I that was like cruising down A1A, you know, T-top Trans Am with my boy Enrique or my boy Fred, just driving down, blasting In the Air Tonight, like
Yeah.
literally, or like Highway to the Danger Zone, like those.
Sure.
It
Sure.
was
Sure.
during that time where it was, that kind of like big pop, you know, songs that crossed over to everybody. I mean, even people in the, African American community know In the Air Tonight, and people in China and
Oh, of
people
course.
in your everyone knows that song. It literally speaks to everyone. So because of that, we were like, yeah, let's give that
Yeah.
one a shot.
Yeah. You guys pulled it off great, man, because there are a lot of bands that tried to pull covers off and you're like, man, you didn't really hit it that well. Did a great job, but not that well. You guys, that's one of the songs where I think everyone listens and they hear that the drum breakdown to make sure, you guys are going, break it down. And it's like, okay, they got it. They got it. They got it.
Yeah.
So great. Um, is there anything you want to promote or push right now?
Really just watch for our socials this Friday, and basically every single month we're either still promoting a campaign or gonna announce a new campaign. We have some really really awesome campaigns coming up. Our year is going to be very very busy, so
Cool.
if you want to be entertained and you're a fan, even if you're not a fan, come check it out. I'm sure you're going to have fun. We do some funny stuff on our sites. People really get a kick out of what we post, and we're just here to have a good time.
Right on, man. Right on. Hey, I appreciate your time and a lot of your answers. Great interview, man. I really dug it.
Thank you, man. We'll do
Yeah.
this again too.